New Jersey did it.
What up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the first episode of Talkin Ish with Tony Delerme. And on today's episode, man, I wanted to elaborate on a little something that Metro Boomin touched on a couple weeks ago when he got into his alleged beef with Young Thug. And a beef of which I thought was 100% fake, I will say that first off. But originally, before that beef had popped off, right, the original rant that Metro Boomin went on was that he was kind of disgusted and just kind of disappointed with the way in which so many artists are trying to copy Future and put out multiple mixtapes and albums within a 12-month period to try and get hot. His point was that, that's Future's lane and that's just the wave he's riding right now. Everybody should just go back to doing their own thing. Take those 5 mixtapes and or albums that you're putting out, take all the best songs off of those projects and compile them into one dope project. And I have to agree with Metro Boomin 3,000% on that. It's very annoying and just stupid when I see rappers, putting out like 1,000,001 mixtapes and albums in 1 year. Like, it doesn't make any type of logical sense, and it saturates the game, man. It really saturates the game and makes hip hop look like just a fast food type genre of music. It makes it look like we're serving up McDonald's over here on this side, and I really hate seeing that. One of the guys that I've seen that does that a lot, or that is doing that right now, is Fetty Wap. As much of a Fetty Wap fan as I am, and I am a Fetty Wap, I've been rocking with him since he first dropped the Trap Queen song, months back. I think Fetty Wap is a really dope artist. He put out a shitload of bangers and dope singles that went, to the top of the top 100 charts, like 679 and Trap Queen, and I think RGF Island even peaked up there as well. But after dropping those singles, he dropped his album. The album was pretty much a success. It sold a lot of units the first week. It sold a lot of units the second week. And you would think from that point on, he would just chill out and ride the album, tour the album, and just continue on with the promotion of the album, and just ride off into the sunset with his victory like that until the next go around when it's time to put out another album. But no, he doesn't do that. He comes back with a fucking mixtape with I believe it was with French Montana. So right after his album comes out, I say about a month later, him and French Montana dropped this mixtape called Coke Zoo, and it was horrible. It was fucking trash. It was one of the worst mixtapes that I've heard this year. There wasn't one banger on it. I reviewed it on my YouTube channel, and when I reviewed it on the YouTube channel, I think I just said that it was alright. But that's BS. It wasn't alright. It was garbage. Simple and plain. The mixtape was trash. And then from that point on, Fetty Wap has continued to drop more just random songs. And this is the thing. When you keep dropping all this music like that, at a certain point you oversaturate yourself, and then I just don't give a fuck anymore. So now somebody like Fetty Wap, who I do follow on SoundCloud, and I kind of follow him everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, and all that good stuff. Now when he drops random singles or he puts out music, I skip over it. I don't care anymore. I'm not trying to hear it because you're doing too much. You're putting out too much music. You're oversaturating the game, and you're oversaturating your own brand. You're killing yourself. Another group of guys that does this is the Migos, and I really can't stand it because I like the Migos a lot. Earlier this year, the Migos dropped their debut album, and I liked it. I thought it was dope. I didn't hear anybody really say anything bad about it. Now, it didn't sell the units that they would have liked. I think the Migos debut album only sold like 14,000 the first week, but that's kind of to be expected. I didn't expect them to do 100,000. But then after the debut album dropped, I guess they were feeling some type of way about the fucking album not selling too well. So they went on ahead and dropped a new mixtape right afterwards, like 2 months later, called Back to the Bando. Now, Back to the Bando was personally, I thought that shit was dope. I liked it a lot. I actually liked it more than I liked the album. But then after Back to the Bando, they dropped another mixtape, and I don't even remember what it was called. It was like Migos and Rich the Kid, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Something Something Part 4. And that's my point right there. The fact that I don't know what the name of that mixtape is speaks volumes, because you're putting out too much music. My nigga, work the album or work the mixtape. Whatever the project that you have that you put out there, if you believe in it, work it. And it goes to show to me that these guys don't really believe in the product that they're putting out there. They're just getting in the studio, making a bunch of bullshit real quick and tossing it out, and it comes out hit or miss. A lot of the time the shit comes out garbage, and then you might get like 1 or 2 tracks that are decent out of a 15 track mixtape. And that sucks for the fan like myself and you guys listening. When you got guys like Fetty Wap and Migos, and you got 1,000,001 rappers. Chief Keef does this. A lot of rappers do this, where they're just putting out a shitload load of content for no reason that has no purpose. Like I said, it hurts the game. It hurts us on this side of hip hop because it makes us look like a fast food genre, like we're serving up fucking McDonald's, man. You're putting out garbage. Work your album or work your mixtape. Let it be known to us that this is heat and we should be listening to it. That's why I'm touring this album. That's why I'm touring this mixtape. And it's just amazing how much of like kind of an epidemic is becoming. You even seeing guys like Tyga did the same thing this year. Tyga, he dropped his album out. I think it was called the Gold Album. The shit flopped. And then he immediately put out a new mixtape. And if I'm not mistaken, right now he's working on another mixtape. Omarion did the same thing on the R&B side. Like it's spilling over to R&B because you know hip hop and R&B is kind of the same thing these days in 2015. Omarion dropped his debut album on MMG. I should say his debut album with MMG. He dropped his debut first album a long time ago, but the joint he dropped with MMG, he dropped it this year. It didn't sell shit. And then he dropped right afterwards, like 2 months later, a brand new mixtape called Care Package 3. And like I said, man, I keep repeating myself, but it is what it is. You're hurting the genre. Stick by your product, man. Stick by your album and what you put out and or mixtape. And tour that shit, and put it in our faces and let us know, yo, this is dope. And if it doesn't work, then Logic says, all right, go ahead and put out the next project. But don't just put out project after project after project after project thinking that you're heating up the streets like Future, because you're not. You're actually making the streets cold. At least you're making the streets cold for you. You're really fucking your own self over. So that's really all I got to say about that, man. I'm your boy, Tony Delerme. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at TD_hiphop. Also follow me on Twitter as well at TDHiphop. I'm talking ish once again. I believe it's not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. I have a couple other things that I wanted to touch on, specifically on Kendrick Lamar, that I'll be talking my ish about. So be sure to tune in the day after tomorrow. I'm your boy Tony Delerme, and I am out.